afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim Clements, president of West Virginia University, and this is... Thank you. Today is a very big day for our university. Before we officially welcome our new chancellor, I have some very important people that I would like to thank. First, let me thank all of you for being here today. I appreciate it. This is a great turnout. Thank you. The stability that begins today with this announcement is very important to the future of our health sciences, as well as the university, the state, and the region. So thank you for being with us. Next, I'd like to thank and recognize Hank Barnett, chair of the search committee. I'm extremely grateful, Hank, for your leadership. I can't tell you how many hours Hank put into this as a volunteer, helping us achieve a great result. Hank, I'm very thankful. Just so you know, Hank is an alumnus of this great university. He's the former president of our student body, and we have a lot of very good former presidents of our student body. He's chairman emeritus of the WVU Board of Governors and a member of the Foundation Board of Directors. Hank, again, we thank you for what you have done. I also want to thank the search committee. Hank, and I assume you're probably going to do the same thing, but I feel I would really like to do that. The search committee was made up of 23 highly qualified individuals, ranging from faculty members to educators to researchers to clinicians to physicians to staff members, students, alumni, administrators, and board members. They spent countless hours helping us find the right leader for this great university. The search committee did an excellent job. They built a stellar field and pool of candidates and brought us some great finalists. And just so you know, they did this in addition to all of the work they were already doing. So we appreciate the effort that all of you put in. If you were a member of the search committee, would you please stand and accept our sincere thanks? They are some of our very best. I want to take 1 minute to thank a very special person, somebody from my office, Gloria Wvu'S from my staff, who went above and beyond the call of duty. Gloria, I can tell you I worked many late nights. She was always there. She gave up a lot of personal time to make this task successful. Gloria, we could not have done it without you, so thank you for what you have done. I'd like to ask Hank Barnett to come up and make a few comments about the search. Hank?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's been a privilege to serve as chair of the search committee and to have the opportunity to serve with such a distinguished group and such a diverse group. Our assignment was to organize and identify and recommend to the president, we were advisory to the president, the highest qualified candidates for his consideration to lead health sciences. We decided to go through this in a very open and very transparent process. Our work was in different phases. We organized, adopted a code of ethics, had the advice of social justice and legal counsel, and the good fortune of Gloria Wvu'S as our executive administrative assistant. We retained an excellent executive search firm, Witt Kiefer, John Thornburg, and Carson Dye of that firm. We developed an organizational and leadership profile which was widely distributed and invited interested parties to apply or be nominated, and we recommended a title change from vice president to chancellor in view of the significant responsibilities of the position. We held sometimes endless and lengthy committee meetings to review applicants and nominees for the position. We selected a number of candidates to be interviewed confidentially and personally, and we interviewed them in person. And from that group, we invited the highest qualified candidates to come to campus to further interviews, presentations, and extensively discuss the candidates with their references and additional references that we developed. From the most highly qualified candidates, President Clements then made this decision. We do, as a search committee, wish to commend and thank all candidates who were considered for the position. We, as a search committee, especially appreciate the cooperation of the leadership and staff at Health Sciences, the entire university, the Alumni Association, the WVU Foundation, and the community. The President asked if I would outline criteria important to the search committee, but to this audience, but the criteria for the Chancellor. And they included integrity, academic health sciences leadership experience, educational leadership experience, clinical leadership experience, research leadership experience, the ability to align people around a common vision, management capabilities, interpersonal and communication skills, personal presence, energy, and poise, external communications, relations, and development skills, a commitment to diversity, but perhaps most important of all, a passion for the mission of health sciences and WVU and to serve the people of West Virginia. The committee, in the profile, outlines several key strategic imperatives for the new Chancellor, and they included the ability to collaborate toward an improved alignment of mission and resource, to build a vision and employee culture aimed at future growth, to develop a more prominent research agenda, to serve a highly visible champion for WVU's patient care mission, and to forge strong and lasting internal and external relationships. Mr. President, we believe that Dr. Christopher C. Colenda meets and exceeds the criteria established for the position. We also believe that Dr. Colenda has the ability to achieve the strategic imperatives. We extend to him our heartiest congratulations, and we commit to him and to you our support and our assistance. I would ask at the end of the proceedings today that all members of the search committee please join us at the stage we would like to take before the press conference begins to take a photograph with Dr. Colenda and Dr. Clements, and we'll do that as we adjourn. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
And you put all those questions.
Thank you, Hank. I agree 100% with your recommendation and the recommendation of the search committee. We do have a highly qualified person sitting to our right. Another person I want to recognize and thank for her contributions to this collaborative process is Carolyn Long, chair of the WVU Board of Governors. I can tell you Carolyn spent a lot of time involved in this process. She made sure she met every candidate. She put a lot of time and effort into it. And I would say this even if she wasn't in the room, she's a great board chair. I'm actually very lucky to have her as the chair, as I am here as the president. She's very passionate about our alma mater, and she knows how much WVU means to this great state. I would say, in fact, I believe there's not another university in the country that means as much to its state as we do here. I'd like to ask Chairwoman Long to come up and make a few comments about the importance of this position to the university and the state.
Thank you, President Clemens, and thank you for all of you for coming. I think it shows Dr. Colenda what a really passionate we are about health sciences and how important it is to have him here today. On behalf of the board, I want to tell you how pleased we are with his choice. We think it was the right choice. I'm a little concerned, though, because once Hank read all of those qualifications that they felt he met, he leaned over to me and wanted to know where the back door was. So I hope we may not have read that list to him quite. We should maybe get a. I think we have a signature on the contract. I think we're okay. Okay, but I know he is going to fulfill that mission, and I know he is going to be a wonderful part of this university. We do know that health science is one of the most important positions here as our new chancellor at the university, and we now are going to have the second member of this great administrative team that's going to focus on collaboration, engage in partnerships, commit to long-range visions, opportunities, and make this place the best it is in the country. We also want to commend again the search committee. We know, and personally as being on the last search committee for another great gentleman we hired, we know how much time it took. And again, on behalf of the board, we thank you for your commitment, and it's very much appreciated. I also would like to thank the people that came to the forums, the business people, the staff, the professors, the doctors, the nurses, all of you, the administrators that came to the forums and listened and really helped us make this wonderful decision that's been made. You are truly a part of this university, and we want your input, and we appreciate you doing that. Thank you again to Hank. And so I'd like to say one more thing. We have three fine people up here, but we have two new people that are going to help lead this university. And I know when President Clemens came to us, I said, you know, he has all those qualifications that Hank talked about too, but also he was gave me the feeling he was a good person, a person that's going to make us happy and make us feel good about ourselves and move this university forward. Well, I feel like the Chancellor, the new Chancellor, is exactly the same way. He is warm, he is open, and I think there's nothing can be any better said about a physician than that, and how he will work with the physicians, the nurses, the staff, and everyone at this university. So it is wonderful to welcome you to this wonderful university, and I know you're going to make a wonderful Mountaineer. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolyn, for those very, very kind words. I appreciate it very much. I'd like to extend another special thank you to Dr. Fred Butcher, even though he is not here with us today. I'll talk about that in a minute. He served for the past 2 years as interim vice president. He began here as a scientist and became the founding director of the Mary Babb Randolph Cancer Center. He helped lead the health sciences through its most recent period of growth. The evidence surrounds us here today. I talked with Fred yesterday, and unfortunately he had an unavoidable and previously planned out-of-town engagement that he had to be at. And he asked me, he said, Jim, I can cancel, I can move it. And I said, Fred, you're doing what you need to do, it's okay. But I think it's important that we thank him for what he has done, the great job he's done in the last 2 years. We'll let him watch the videotape later. I know that Fred would join me in thanking the deans for their leadership during the past 2 years, the department chairs, the faculty, and the staff in the health sciences. A lot is accomplished every day here, as you know, by our students, our faculty, and our staff at the health sciences, and I literally stand in all of the work that you do. It is amazing and impressive. I want to take a minute to thank some other people from our regional divisions, the WVU hospitals, the UHA, the United Health System, and our healthcare partners throughout the state who make us more effective at what we do and who are our partners. Finally, I want to thank all of you in this room, those who attended the open forums. As Carolyn Long said, we appreciate your input. We appreciate those that filled out the forms and gave us feedback. I can tell you we looked through the feedback. I read every comment, and the comments were very, very helpful in making the final decision, so I greatly appreciate that. This brings me to a very special thank you, and that is to Dr. Chris Colenda for giving West Virginia a look, for giving us a chance, and for accepting the position, and yes, he did sign the contract, as Chancellor for Health Sciences. Let me tell you, I personally called some of his references on the list and off the list, and here is what I was told. He's a visionary. He's a strategic thinker. He's energetic. He's a dynamic leader. He has a proven record of success. I know that he will embrace our entire mission, and he will help us set our sights to an even higher level of competitive success. Bottom line is, in my opinion, he's the perfect fit for this great university. He has the passion that we're looking for. He views this as his dream job. You can see the twinkle in his eyes that he wants to be here. This is a great place, and he will give it 150%. As I spoke with his colleagues, they also talked about his work ethic. They talked about his high standards. They talked about him as a collaborator and a team builder. And they did talk about him as one of the very good guys who will do whatever is best for his institution. He comes from a land-grant background, and his colleagues confirmed how much he values and champions health science education. research, clinical and patient care, and community engagement, all hallmarks of a great American land-grant university like WVU. One colleague told me, he said, "Jim, I don't want to tell you what I think about Dr. Colenda." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because when I tell you, I know you're going to hire him." It's with a heavy heart, he said, that he's one of our very best. He's top-notch. So they didn't want to lose him where he was. Every reference that we checked, glowing, absolutely glowing. Dr. Colenda started as a faculty member and a researcher. He became a department chair. He became a dean. He became a vice president. And now he becomes chancellor for WVU Health Sciences. He served at some great universities, Wake Forest University, Michigan State, and most recently as the Gene and Thomas McMullin Dean of Medicine and Vice President for Clinical Affairs at Texas A&M. His experiences in the legislative circles, as well as a fundraiser, will benefit all of us. It will benefit the entire university. We have to be successful together, and we will, because this is where the next generation of healthcare providers are educated, right here. This is where research in our labs leads to new scientific discoveries. This is where clinical trials give hope to families. This is where lives are inspired, extended, and saved. And this is where we send our loved ones. So what we do here is simply amazing. Chancellor Colenda will help lead our health sciences to even greater levels of success. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Colenda to join me at the podium for a warm West Virginia welcome from an Aggie to a Mountaineer. Chancellor Colenda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have some gifts.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, I love this. Terrific.
Chancellor, the stage is yours.
Thank you. This is great. This is great. Thank you. President Clemens, Madam Chairman, Hank, search committee, faculty, colleagues, staff, thank you. This, as President Clemens says, this is a job, a dream of a lifetime. And I had all this thing worked out in my head coming up on the plane today, and I've gotten brain freeze. But I do want to extend my personal thanks to everybody who has participated in evaluating me to see if I'm the right fit for West Virginia University Health Sciences. Some of you would like perhaps know where I come from, what my values are. I'm first and foremost a husband. My wife's not able to be here today. She's actually, hopefully, watching the webcam right now. And Kathy, thank you for everything you've done in our lives together. She's put up with me for over 35 years. Yeah, right. And I have a daughter who's my eldest daughter is also watching this on webcam too. Now there's a little problem there because she worked at Virginia Tech. But from here on out, except when WVU and Virginia Tech play, she's going to be a Mountaineer fan. First and foremost, I'm a physician. And I've had the distinct privilege and honor of caring for patients. And out of that caring, I've also developed a passion for education and research. And I hope to bring those experiences to the table to be what I would call a servant leader for the health sciences. And I looked at this job for a couple of reasons. First, I've had a long-standing affiliations with some of the faculty here who hopefully are in the audience. That I'm not able to see them, but I've had a strong, and I've actually had some personal mentorship from faculty who were here at the health sciences center back in the 70s, Dr. Will Spradlin. And Will was a gentleman who was very influential early in my career. But I saw this as an opportunity of health sciences and the university being able to bridge the gap and be synergistic. One without the other is not as good as both of them together. And as we move forward in a more complex environment of scholarship, clinical service, research, education, the ability to have a university, the resources of the university and the resources of the health sciences come together to build a future for the citizens of West Virginia was very appealing to me. And when Dr. Veslacki told me that she went out with one of her teams into rural areas of West Virginia and on a Saturday extracted hundreds of teeth, this struck me as where I needed to be to meet my social conscience in terms of the meaning of health care for the state of West Virginia. Now, I've also had contacts with folks in West Virginia. They date back, interestingly, to 7th grade. Mr. Shepard, a graduate of WVU, was an 8th grade teacher and taught me the advantages of risk, reward, and the feel of West Virginia hickory. I lost the bet. My high school wrestling coach and my high school football coach, Mr. Harris, was a person who started his undergraduate career here at West Virginia, got drafted, went off to fight in Korea, and finished his collegiate career at Marshall University. I know it's the little place down the road there. But Coach Harris taught me to look people square in the eye and drive through their chest, keeping my feet going. Coach Harris and my father helped me get into West Point, and I will be forever grateful to those two individuals to help start my career. And then there's another person, and when he sees this in the alumni magazine, he's just going to laugh. Stuart Solon, class of 1973, he and I were classmates in medical school at MCV. And I'd like to say that I thought I was pretty smart, but Stuart graduated #1 in the class, as did his father before him, who was West Virginia alumni and was in that period of time when they did 2 years of medical school here and then went down to MCV to finish their last 2 years. When I got back to Richmond as a junior faculty member, I knew that there was only going to be one doc who was going to take care of my family, and that was Stuart Solon. A great physician, a great representative of this university. And when we would play football and Virginia Tech, back then it was called VPI, and West Virginia would play, and we all lived in the same dorm, he would come into the TV lounge with a musket. I thought that was pretty interesting. A little odd, but pretty interesting. But Stuart is a great physician, a great alumnus of this university. So what's the role of the Chancellor? It's not to be humorous all the time. I think the role of the Chancellor is imperative right now as we move forward in uncertain times in academic health sciences across the Health Professions Educational Board. I think my job will be to champion the vision of the university and the relevance of the health sciences to the greater vision of the university and the mission of the university. We have to align our strategic vision and values and mission. We have to work towards being nimble to be able to grow our programs from our clinical programs, our educational programs, and our research programs. I need to be out there looking for new resources to help invest in the health sciences and in the university. We need to champion and be good stewards of some of the most precious resources that we have, and that is our intellectual capital of faculty and staff and students. We have challenges, as you all know. There's this little thing out there called healthcare reform. And if we're not aligned, if we don't have ourselves positioned to be able to adapt and to move forward with healthcare reform out there, whatever that may be, once it gets through the sausage grinder of the legislative process, we've got to make sure that we are positioned well to maintain our forward momentum in healthcare reform. We also need to look at workforce and educational programs and really build on interdisciplinary programs. I know that the physicians in the audience here and nurses and dentists, we all work in teams. And one of the team members that was most valuable when I was an active clinician was our clinical pharmacist, because he actually knew more pharmacology than all of us put together. So being able to work in teams and being able to move towards interdisciplinary education and raising the quality of the educational product is going to be a challenge for us. And we also need to understand that with 1/3 of the physicians in West Virginia graduates of this institution, 2/3 of the dentists, and 3/4 of the pharmacists graduates of this institution, we need to be sensitive to the health professional needs of our citizens that we serve, who pay our salaries, quite frankly, in the state. Lastly, I think we need to pursue the worthiness of discovery. I was pleased when I came here to look at the heavy lifting that the faculty have done, at least in the College of Medicine, School of Medicine, in terms of looking at interdisciplinary biomedical basic science departments. We did that. I actually learned from West Virginia what we applied to at Texas A&M. We went down the same route, and that took a lot of effort, a lot of heavy lifting from the faculty to recognize that as we move forward in the biomedical research enterprise, interdisciplinary departments are critical. Developing translational research into the Cancer Center, the Neuroscience Center, cardiovascular research, the Children's Health Initiatives. All of the pieces that we have here at this university can raise the boat of our national reputation, our international reputation, and most importantly, service back to the citizens of West Virginia. To be able to strategically invest in the future, President Clements and I have come to an understanding of developing the Chancellor's Development and Discovery Fund. Right now, there's $0 in it. But don't be afraid of that. Because now that we have a mission and a vision to promote our translational research, we have a CTSA that's going in this October, I understand. For those of you who don't know, that's Clinical Translational Science Awards. It's a foundational grant for translational research. We have the capability, the strength of our marketing department to go out and raise money for that, so that as the resources come in, we will be able to invest those resources in the best and brightest faculty, chairs, department heads, center directors that we can find. So, my obligation to you, the faculty of the Health Science Center, is to build sustainable programs, to promote your best interests, to promote the culture of we can do this, to be a champion for your individual programs, to be a good steward of the resources that the citizens of West Virginia have provided us. The most precious resource is students. And at the very least, I will always do my best for your interest. So I'm delighted to be here. I can't wait to start. I love this. And Jim, thank you very much. Madam Chair, thank you. Hank, thank you very much. I'm glad to be a Mountaineer.
sit down here.
I think it's easy to see that we picked a very good person in our new Chancellor, Dr. Colenda. Great to have you here. I love your passion. I love your vision. I love your energy. I love that you think big, and together we are going to do some very good things with the people in this room. I'd like to ask the search committee to come forward. We are going to take a couple pictures, and I do want to point out that there is a reception that will follow in the Learning Center Commons area, so you can help welcome Chancellor Colenda. And just so you know, he will officially be starting in late October. But as he said, he's ready to get to work. We're going to put him to work even before late October. So thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing you at the reception. Thank you.
Oh, sir.
You want to get down there?